Hi, guys, and welcome back to Petrolhead Podcasts. The all new 2024 Lexus GX550 has been hotly anticipated in the midsize luxury SUV segment and has created a stir for its boxy design, much improved technology, and advanced new powertrain. By targeting a more lifestyle oriented buyer than its predecessor, the GX now seems squarely aimed against the Land Rover Defender, which has enjoyed tremendous sales success since the current generation went on sale in 2020. So, between these two highly desirable off road oriented luxury SUVs, which is better? Join me as I go through an in depth comparison to give you the answer. Today, we will be comparing the similarly priced flagship Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus against the Land Rover Defender 110 P400 X-Dynamic SE. First of all, looking at exterior designs, the new GX looks fantastic. Gone is the narrow but tall old generation vehicle with its oversized and disproportionate grille, and in place comes a muscular and athletic new GX. Up front, the much wider body with the huge fender flares contribute to an impressive stance, and the smaller grille looks much more cohesive. The raised outer edges of the hood look good, as do the slimmed down headlights. I'm not a huge fan of the fake air vents below the headlights though. On the side, the boxy and upright stance looks far more cool than the previous generation's rounded look, and the strong shoulder line, combined with the squared off wheel arches, are attractive. I don't like the upkick in the window line though, which looks a little out of place. Round back, the car still looks good and continues the square-shaped design, although in this off-roader, the full-width taillights don't look tough enough in my opinion, and not as attractive as the vertical taillights on the new Toyota Land Cruiser that shares the GX's platform. Moving on to the Land Rover Defender, and the car's design continues to look awesome 4 years after it was first introduced. Up front, the round headlights look good, although the grille looks perhaps a bit too small for a car the size of the Defender. The flared wheel arches, much like the GX, give the Defender great road presence. On the side, the Defender looks extremely clean, modern, and uncluttered, with the wraparound window design contrasting nicely with the painted section near the C-pillar and the line above the door handles running the entire length of the car looking very nice. The really short rear overhang on the 110 Defender gives it a more purposeful off-road look than the GX. Round back, the Defender looks great. The tailgate-mounted spare tire and the square taillights that are a throwback to the original Defender's taillights look fantastic too. Overall, the slightly better-looking car for me is the Land Rover. The Defender has a more uncluttered look than the busier GX, and the retro elements of the design blend well with the overall modern look. The Lexus still looks fantastic and is a big improvement over the predecessor, but some parts of the car's design are a little fussy and overstyled. Moving on to interiors, and the Lexus's cabin is one of the best that Toyota and Lexus have ever put in an off-roader. The upright and square dashboard gives it a tough and truck-like appearance, which is contrasted nicely by the huge and modern 14-inch infotainment display and the 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. The latest Lexus software is much better to use than before, although it still lacks the depth of functionality of Land Rover's system. I especially like the fixed rotary knobs for temperature adjustment that blend into the screen, which looks very modern. Material quality is good, and there is a lot of storage options in the cabin. The signature cooler box in the center console that has been a trademark of Lexus and Toyota off-roaders remains. Standard massaging seats, ambient lighting, and heated and ventilated front seats contribute to the luxury feeling. Sadly, the panoramic sunroof, which is offered in the GX550 Luxury Plus, is not available for Overtrail models. The GX offers less legroom than the Defender, at 36.7 inches in the second row. However, overall interior space is larger, with maximum cargo capacity with the rear seats folded at a massive 90.5 cubic feet, which is incredibly large for the segment. The Land Rover's interior comes across as more utilitarian than the GX. The Defender's dashboard is more workmanlike, with the dashboard-mounted gear lever, exposed screws, and the powder-coated finish on the dashboard and steering wheel. There is less focus on luxury, and some of the materials prioritize durability over luxury when compared to the Lexus. The Defender has a 12.3-inch instrument cluster, and the central screen offers more functionality than the Lexus's system, but the screen in Defender SE models is much smaller than the Lexus at 10 inches, and the system can be laggy to use sometimes. Nice touches in the Defender's cabin include the wood finish surrounding the center console, as well as the Alpine window in the second row. Standard equipment is great, with items such as a panoramic roof, heated and cooled front seats, a 360-degree camera, and wireless charging, all standard in the SE model. The Defender has great passenger space with 39 inches of rear legroom. However, cargo capacity is much less than the Lexus at 78.8 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. Both cars are 5-seaters by default, but the Defender has the option of a third row that is not available on the Overtrail spec GX. Overall, the better interior is the Lexus. The GX's cabin feels slightly more luxurious. The infotainment is larger and more responsive, and it has much more interior space than in the Defender. The Defender has a good cabin, but the more utilitarian feel compared to the GX means it finishes second. In terms of drivetrains and off-road, The Lexus has a 3.4-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine that produces 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, significant increases over the aging naturally aspirated 4.6-liter V8 in the old GX. This is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, sending power to all four wheels through a permanent four-wheel drive system with selectable low range. The GX can tow an incredible 9,063 pounds in the Overtrail spec. The GX is built on Toyota's TNGAF ladder frame chassis, shared with the larger Lexus LX and the new Toyota Land Cruiser, and is far more rigid than the previous model's frame. The GX has Lexus's multi-terrain select off-road drive modes, crawl control low-speed off-road cruise control, center and rear differential locks, and the new EKDSS automatic stabilizer bar disconnect system. Lexus's adaptive variable suspension is also standard. All-terrain tires with 18-inch wheels are standard on the Overtrail model. The GX can wade up to 27.6 inches of water, has 8.9 inches of ground clearance, and approach and departure angles of 26 and 22 degrees respectively. These figures aren't spectacular, but the GX is still a great off-roader with excellent traction, great axle articulation, and a crawl control system that makes low-speed off-roading very straightforward and easy. The new EKDSS system that can decouple the front and rear stabilizer bars independently also works to give the car better body control and articulation off-road. The Land Rover Defender has a single turbo 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine with an electric supercharger and a 48-volt mild hybrid system, which combine to deliver more horsepower but less torque than the GX's engine, at 395 horsepower and 405 pound-feet respectively. The Defender's engine is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission that also sends power to all four wheels through a permanent four-wheel drive system with selectable low range. The Land Rover has a unibody rather than body-on-frame design and a lower towing capacity of 8,200 pounds. The Land Rover has the option of air suspension and adaptive damping. Land Rover's terrain, Response 2 and all-terrain progress control systems work similarly to the Lexus's, but are also optional in the SE model, and so are auto-locking center and rear differential locks and all-terrain tires. However, this is not a deal-breaker, given that the Defender SE model is around $5,000 cheaper than the GX Overtrail Plus. It is possible to option all of the off-road and chassis-related upgrades to the Defender, and the Land Rover will still be cheaper than the GX. With air suspension, the Defender has a wading depth of 35.4 inches, a ground clearance of up to 11.5 inches, an approach angle of 37.5 degrees, and departure angle of 40 degrees, all significantly superior to the GX. The Defender is still an excellent off-roader, with the air suspension ensuring a comfortable ride and great ground clearance. However, the 20-inch wheels that come with the Defender limit grip in challenging obstacles, the car struggles for traction more than the GX, and the unibody construction means the car has less impressive axle articulation. Overall, in terms of drivetrains and off-road, the better car is the Lexus. It can tow more, has more torque, and the body-on-frame construction makes the GX feel far more sure-footed off-road. The Defender is still very capable and has far better on-paper figures than the Lexus. However, the more on-road biased design means it is ultimately not as capable as the GX in the real world and tends to struggle for traction at times. In terms of on-road driving, the Lexus is a much more refined experience than the previous generation model. With the new frame, adaptive suspension, and large sidewalls offered by the 18-inch wheels, the car has a very compliant ride over most surfaces. The soft ride, combined with the light steering, makes the GX a relaxed and comfortable vehicle to drive. However, the inherent disadvantages of body-on-frame vehicles means there is still noticeable shimmy and shake over big bumps and undulations when compared to the Defender. The relaxed demeanor also ensures that there is a lot more body lean in corners than the Defender. Additionally, the V6 engine, despite the healthy power figures, does not feel as effortless as the Defender's inline 6. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes around 6.5 seconds, and combined fuel economy is only 17 miles per gallon. The Land Rover Defender, by comparison, is incredibly good to drive on road. The unibody construction, together with the air suspension, gives the Defender great body control over all surfaces. Ride comfort is also very good, and the car feels taut and far more sporty than the GX through corners, complemented by an engine that feels more responsive. 0 to 60 miles per hour is faster in the Defender at 5.8 seconds, and the combined fuel economy of 20 miles per gallon is also better than the Lexus. Overall, the Land Rover is clearly the better car on road. The unibody construction combined with a great engine makes the Defender a far more civilized car to live with on a day-to-day basis. The Lexus is still a good car to drive, especially compared to the last generation model, with a soft and compliant ride. However, the Defender's on-road manners and engine are noticeably better. So in conclusion, which is the better off-road oriented luxury SUV? This has been an incredibly close comparison, with both cars having unique and distinct strengths. However, considering that most buyers of these SUVs still spend the majority of time on road, it is the Land Rover that is the slightly better car here. The Defender has a modern and clean look, a smooth and responsive inline-6 engine, and has a wonderful balance of comfort and driving dynamics. The cabin is also nice enough compared to the GX, and the off-road capability is also great, even if it is not ultimately as good off-road as the GX. The Lexus GX remains a very good SUV. The tough new look, spacious and modern interior, and tremendous off-road capability all make the GX550 a huge improvement compared to the previous generation. For long-term ownership, the Lexus's reliability and resale value are also likely to be superior to the Land Rovers. However, the more truck-like driving experience and less accomplished drivetrain means the Lexus is not as good of a daily driver as the Land Rover, and so the GX finishes second in this test. So what do you guys think of this conclusion? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to be the first to see more amazing content like this in the future. Cheers!